I'm Marty.
I'm Larry.
And this is the EFIS podcast. Welcome back to the EFIS podcast. Thanks for listening. We have a special story for you today. Larry?
We're going to talk about the short-lived baseball career of Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Now, when you think of baseball's superstars...
Michael Jordan comes right to the top of your mind.
Yeah, probably not the first one. But, yeah, I'm
sure most people know who Michael Jordan is.
And I'm probably pretty sure that most people our age remember when he decided to play baseball.
Indeed.
Too. But it's a fun story, and
Indeed.
I want to hear more about it.
Okay, well, on October 6th of 1993, Michael Jordan announces his retirement from the NBA after winning his third straight championship. He later stated that the murder of his father in July of 93 pushed him to make the decision to retire.
It's a real feel-good story so far,
I know,
Larry.
uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
In January of 94, Jordan announced his decision to try out for the Chicago White Sox. Baseball team also owned by Jerry Reinsdorf, who was the owner of the Chicago Bulls.
I remember this.
He signed with the organization on February 7th. On March 4th, Jordan took his first at-bat in spring training, and he hit a dribbler straight back to Texas Rangers pitcher Darren Oliver. Oliver tagged out Jordan to complete his first at-bat.
Can you imagine being that guy, the first major league pitcher? You're just like, wait a minute. Am I?
Is this for real?
What sport am I?
Yeah.
I thought I was playing baseball, but there's Michael Jordan, and he's got a baseball bat.
And there's hundreds of media cameras probably just all pointed at you.
Oh,
probably,
yeah.
I mean,
and no baseball players had their own shoes at that point.
No.
I still don't think they do.
No. It's got to be the cleats.
Got your Reebok A-Rods on there?
Right. So Jordan was assigned to the White Sox Double-A team, the Birmingham Barons, and joined the team on April 8th after playing in the Windy City Classic, which is an exhibition game in Chicago between the Cross City Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
In that game, he went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs.
What?
Not bad.
Definitely not bad when you're playing against major leaguers.
Yeah.
And you're not a major leaguer. But Jordan, he was no spring chicken to baseball, though.
He was, I believe he was 31 at the time. So he was 31.
Right.
Hadn't picked up a bat since high school.
But he played pretty heavily in high school, did he not?
Yes, he was a pretty good player.
And as you said...
A natural athlete,
and
anyways.
as you said, it was his dad's dream that he played baseball. So, I thought that he was pointed in that direction. But, but to be able to do that, to be able to just
to not
jump
pick up
right
a bat
in,
since high school.
Right, and then go in against major leaguers and
not hit a couple in?
That's insane.
Why not?
Yeah.
In his first minor league game on April 8th, he started in right field. He went 0 for 3 in front of the over 10,000 fans and over 130 members of the press for a minor league baseball.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. And it's funny he played right field. Like that's where you put the baseball players that aren't the best.
Yeah, that's the kid who picks his nose. That's where you put him.
Exactly. Sitting on his glove.
Yeah. Which, you think of his athleticism, center field, right?
Yeah. Well, he's a
maybe
big
left
dude,
field.
Though,
Yeah, he's true. He's a 6'6", 215, I believe.
Yeah, he's got to have a hell of an arm, though.
No, I would think so.
Yeah.
Michael got his first and second hits on April 10th. Now, this was the beginning of a 13-game hitting streak for him. He went 17 of 45, batting .378, which is just amazing. He comes right out the bat. I mean, you're just thinking, what is the potential of this guy at this point?
Now, this is in Double-A?
This is in Double-A.
Okay.
He drove in his very first run and got his first stolen base the very next day.
Now, hold on. On the side, can you imagine being that guy? The Double-A pitcher that has to pitch against? I mean, it's one thing if Darren Oliver is like an established major leaguer.
Right.
But you're like Joe Schmo, who's...
Which was the actual guy's name? How'd you know?
Wow.
Right.
Happy coincidence there.
And the media attention that this was getting, too, at the time.
Oh, that pressure must have been insane.
I know. I can't imagine.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, yeah. On April 28th, Jordan drove in his first of 7 game-winning runs with a 7th-inning double to break the 4-4 tie.
And his teammates still weren't sure what sport they were playing.
No. They gave him free throws. It was weird.
Yeah,
kind of technical.
I thought I was playing baseball.
Got called for a double dribble.
Yeah.
Jordan's first home run was on July 30th. So we're talking about a 31-year-old player who has not played baseball since high school.
And 31 is usually, I mean, for those maybe uninitiated in baseball, normally like 30 is like the peak year.
Yeah.
So after that usually is when
Slow decline.
athletes will start to decline. So this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. The rest of his season didn't go so well. I mean, he started out pretty hot, but when it was all said and done, he hit only .202 for the season with only 3 home runs.
You know, that's still not bad for a basketball player.
True. I couldn't do it. That's
right.
for sure.
Dude, I feel happy when I go in a batting cage at AJ's Family Fun Park and get a hit against the slow pitch
high school,
machine. Yeah, like so I'm not one to talk about how poorly or well he's doing.
Right, but in the world of baseball, when you're looking, if he's looking to do it professionally, which it sounded like he did.
Yeah.
202 with 3 home runs, 51 runs driven in, 30 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Guy was quick on the path.
Well, let's be fair. I mean, he's Michael Jordan. He can do what he wants. Like, maybe if Akeem Olajuwon back then wanted to play baseball, he'd probably be like, yeah, Akeem, I'm not so sure.
Not going to happen.
But
Charles
it's Michael.
Barkley? No, but
yeah.
It was Michael. And it helps, I think, that Reinsdorf owned both teams.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was going to get his money back, which, by the way, Jordan was signed to a contract that paid him as much as he would have made playing basketball.
Oh, no kidding.
That's his minor league contract.
Yeah, I guess if you're the owner of that team, you think, well, it's going to be bad for the Bulls, but great for the White Sox.
Yeah,
so,
indeed.
Kind of a win-win either way.
Reinsdorf was never one to shy away from that sort of thing.
Right.
He went on to play in the Arizona Fall League. So this was definitely something he was...
Now, that surprises me because the Fall League is usually something that's reserved for young up-and-comers.
Yeah, I'm sure he was playing against guys who are at least 10 years younger than him.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. At least. I mean, you see a lot of people straight out of the draft, like right out of high school or in college playing the Fall League. So that's But
it does show his dedication to it.
Yeah.
He hit .252 with 8 RBIs.
Yeah, not bad.
No, not bad for a short league. He was slated to move up to Triple-A, the Nashville team, in '95. But if you recall, there was an MLB strike that began on August 12th of '94. Very sad day.
Day after my birthday.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a great present, huh?
Yeah.
Surprise! The strike began there in August of '94 and bled into the '95 spring training. Jordan did report to camp in February of '95, but by March had decided not to be involved in that garbage.
Yeah, he didn't play any basketball in that offseason either, did he?
No, he did not. So he sat out as the strike continued, but by mid-March, he started attending Bulls games.
No.
Yeah, the bug bit him.
As a spectator?
As a spectator.
Okay. That must have been a weird sight, too.
Right? Michael Jordan watching the Bulls.
You're right.
Pippen just kept throwing it out into the crowd to Mike. Mike's like, I'm not, no.
Hey, I'm not in.
So about 2 weeks after he started appearing at these games, he was back on the court playing.
Oh, Michael.
Could not let it go.
Michael, you goofball.
And he would go on to win 3 more NBA titles after taking an entire year off of pro basketball.
I think if you were Michael Jordan and you were watching the Bulls without Michael Jordan, you would probably want to jump back on that team.
Yeah. Like, this is garbage.
Oh, God, you guys. Seriously. Like...
Now, this sounds all well and good. His father passed away, and, his father loved the fact it kind of pushed him into baseball. He was a baseball fan, and...
Well, it's hard to put this into perspective because it would be so hard for something like this to happen nowadays.
Yeah.
But, I mean, think of, like, LeBron James saying, hey, I want to play baseball now. It's kind of always been my dream. And everybody's like, what? You never talked about that before. Like, all of a sudden, now LeBron James just wants to play...
And there have been other 2 sports stars,
sure.
Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
But they were almost established baseball players
Well, Deion Sanders
and football players at the same time.
Great at baseball either.
No,
not.
He was
not
good
like
enough
he was
to. He was good enough.
He was serviceable. He was replacement level. As
but
the
they both
stat
played
nerd
in
said.
college,
right?
Which is a big difference.
Yeah. That
Jordan just played basketball,
and he hardly ever. I mean, well, basketball seasons and baseball seasons are like
they kind of
they coincide at certain points.
Yeah, I mean
so,
the tournament starts.
Yeah, you really couldn't feasibly do both sports.
Right,
whereas
that's
baseball
true.
and football. Football season is during the baseball off season, so you could feasibly play both sports.
True. So that sounds all well and good, but here is something that I stumbled upon, and that's in late 1992, Jordan was called to testify against a convicted cocaine dealer by the name of Jim Bowler. Well,
another sport. Bowling now or into bowling?
No, Jim Bowler was a cocaine dealer.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't a bowler.
No, he was a dealer.
Not to be confused with Jim Cocaine Dealer, who's a bowler.
A bowler, pro bowler, yes. Two people get them mixed up all the time.
All the time.
Well, guess what? Jim Bowler was in possession of a personal check written by Michael Jordan for $57,000.
Huh, don't know how that got there.
Yeah.
Must have fell off a truck or something.
Not good. So first, Jordan claimed it was for a business loan.
Sure. For the cocaine dealing business.
Yes.
You gotta get your seed money in there somehow. Cocaine's not cheap.
Yeah, it isn't. It's you gotta start from the ground up.
Yeah. It's not like nowadays where you have like venture capitalists and things like that.
But upon further questioning, he admitted it was to pay off gambling losses.
What?
To a cocaine dealer.
Yeah, if you're gonna gamble, like there's probably better routes to do it than
this
bowling cocaine dealers.
This can't look good for the NBA.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. What are you hinting at, Larry?
This continues. Now, in early 1993, San Diego businessman Richard Esquinas, we'll go with that, revealed that he had taken Jordan for more than $900,000 in golf-related gambling.
What? That
Yes.
Gambling
Golfing. Almost $1 million
gambling on golf.
On golf. So Jordan was a golfer as well.
Whoa.
And apparently not very good.
Well, I still can't. I mean, this is a baseball podcast, but I'm trying to wrap my head around golf gambling.
I'll bring this back around to baseball.
Okay.
Now, the morning before Game 2 of the 1993 NBA Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks, he was spotted at Atlantic City, which is not too far from New York, where he lost.
What happens in Atlantic City?
Nothing good. He reportedly lost $1.2 million playing Baccarat?
Playing Burt Baccarat?
Playing Burt Baccarat.
Burt Baccarat?
In poker. No, apparently that's I'm not a gambler, but that's
sure. It's a card game.
It's a pit game or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
$1.2 million.
$1.2 million
reportedly lost.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's
if
a
you're
lot
in
of money.
Atlantic City, you're not there for the hot dogs. You know, you're there to gamble.
So this is the end of the 93 season.
Huh.
No investigation happens until after the finals, after Michael Jordan wins his third.
Well, of course.
This prompted the NBA to launch an investigation into Jordan's gambling habits. Turns out if you're owing crack or cocaine dealers gambling money, that's not good for the image of the league.
You may be in breach of contracts.
And puts Jordan could put him in a situation where I'd hate to say fixing games, but
yeah, well, absolutely.
It certainly looks that way.
Sports gambling is a pretty big no-no amongst athletes.
Ask Pete Rose.
Yeah. I have a feeling we'll hear more about Pete Rose later.
Yes. So they launched this investigation into his gambling habits to see if he had violated league rules. 4 months later is when Jordan announces his retirement from basketball.
Huh. What? The timing there is impeccable.
And he's paid the same amount as he would with the Bulls to play for Jerry Reinsdorf's White Sox.
So what are you saying, Larry? Are you saying that they forced Michael Jordan out of basketball to sweep a conspiracy that he was gambling under the rug and he played baseball for a little while?
Black helicopters. Conspiracy theorists suggest that then NBA Commissioner David Stern bargained with Jordan to retire until the gambling stories died away, which they did.
Wow. dirty pool.
Sounds innocent enough when it starts off.
Yeah, and that's the part that I don't remember from when I was 14 years old.
No.
And hearing, what? MJ's going to play baseball?
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, wow.
That's insane.
Get caught up, but it really, if it's a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying either way.
Sure.
Doesn't look good, though.
Doesn't look good. Absolutely.
But you also have to remember his father was murdered. Could that, I mean, and
hopefully
the guy,
not by Billy Bowler, the cocaine dealer.
No. It was actually some teenagers.
Ew.
But they've always have claimed their innocence. So they didn't find the body for 3 weeks after he was murdered. They had shot him in the chest, dumped his body in a river. 3 weeks later is when they found the body. The car had been stripped of everything. Money had been stolen. So could have been a robbery. Could have been made to look like a robbery. Did Jordan owe debts and his father paid for it? Mysteries around.
Oh my God. I feel a little sick to my stomach right now. That's crazy. That's Michael Jordan. Like probably the most prominent sports figure in American history.
Sports figure, yeah.
Like, seriously. That's insane.
So I took that nice little innocent story and dragged it through the mud.
Now let's go even a little bit further and kind of postulate here because this could be fun. But what do you personally think that if that strike wouldn't have happened, do you think he would have stuck with baseball?
I think he would have. I think because he was being moved up to AAA, I think he would have.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would have said so too until you brought up these gambling things.
True.
And it seemed like they stuck him there to keep him there. But it would be interesting. I mean, there could have feasibly been a team that consisted of Frank Thomas, Ken Griffey Jr., and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, because that was about the time Griffey was on, or was that a little later? Maybe?
I think it may have been a little later.
But, it could have happened.
Yeah. I don't think he would have ever made the majors. He was too old.
Yeah, and he wouldn't have gone to sit on the bench at the majors either.
No, I don't think
they
so.
wouldn't have done that.
I think eventually he would have gone back to basketball anyways.
Wow, and then he even went on to win more championships.
3 more.
In basketball,
yeah.
Too. Wow, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
So Michael Jordan played baseball. That's what we do. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, and thanks for listening, everybody. You can always find us at ephaspodcast.com, their webpage, or Ephas Podcast at Facebook.
Ephas Podcast at Gmail.
If you want to use email, but who uses email nowadays, really?
It's Morse code us.
You could send us a Western Union telegram.
Yeah.
But we will see you next week.